Welcome the rare gems. Truth doesn't care about your comfort. It cares about your growth. Only Sigma females can handle that kind of truth, the kind that doesn't hold your hand but holds you accountable. They are built differently. They don't hide from reality, they walk straight into it. While most people chase what feels good, Sigma females chase what's real. They know that pretending is easier, but it's also the fastest way to lose yourself. These women are not afraid to see life for what it is. They understand that truth often hurts before it heals, and they've accepted that real growth never comes from comfort. What makes them powerful is that they don't need the world to agree with them. They trust their own understanding, their own silence, their own path. That independence may make others uneasy, but it also makes them unstoppable. Every Sigma female carries a kind of quiet wisdom. She knows that peace is not found in pretending everything is fine. It's found in facing what's real, no matter how uncomfortable it feels. And that honesty, that raw self-awareness, is what sets her apart. So, if you've ever felt like you see things others avoid, if you've ever felt like your truth isolates you, this video is for you. Watch till the end, because you'll understand why your strength is not coldness, and your honesty is not arrogance. You're not too much. You're just one of the few who can handle the truth. Let's dive into it, the rare gems. Number 1. Truth is not always emotional comfort. It is not soft, and it is not kind. It does not bend to make you feel safe or whisper sweet lies to help you sleep at night. Truth demands strength. It exposes the cracks, the flaws, and the things we try to hide behind smiles and excuses. And that is exactly where the Sigma female stands apart. She does not chase comfort. She chases clarity. While many people want words that soothe their feelings, the Sigma female wants words that make sense. She would rather be hurt by reality than comforted by lies. Because to her, truth is not meant to make you feel good. It is meant to set you free. She knows that facing reality might shatter the illusions she once used to survive, but she would still choose that pain. Because peace built on lies is not peace at all. It is a slow kind of self-betrayal. Sigma females carry a level of emotional courage that most people never reach. They look at the truth straight in the face, even when it breaks them, because they know that real strength is not about pretending to be fine. It is about accepting what is real and rebuilding from it. They understand that truth has no interest in protecting feelings. It simply reveals what is. And once you accept that, you stop being controlled by it. You rise above it. This is why Sigma females stand out. They do not live in denial, and they do not run from hard conversations. They deal with what others avoid. They know the cost of honesty, but they pay it anyway, because what they gain in return is self-respect, awareness, and freedom. They don't want pretty lies. They want raw truth, even when it cuts, because that is where real peace begins. Number 2. Not everyone can meet them where they are. Sigma females learned this truth after years of trying to explain themselves to people who were never ready to understand. They used to think that if they just opened up more, if they just softened their edges, maybe people would finally see their intentions clearly. But the more they tried, the more they realized some minds are not built for depth. Sigma females operate on a different frequency. They think deeply, feel intensely, and see through layers most people never even notice. Their conversations are not about gossip or trends, but about meaning, growth, and truth. Yet when they bring that depth into shallow spaces, it often feels like speaking another language. People mistake their honesty for attitude, their silence for disinterest, and their independence for arrogance. So they stopped explaining. They stopped watering down who they are just to be understood. If someone can't swim that deep, it is not their job to teach them. It is not cruelty, it is clarity. They realize that not everyone has the emotional range or the courage to meet them where authenticity lives. Sigma females are not arrogant about their depth. They are simply aware that energy is sacred. They no longer waste it trying to convince others of their worth or intentions. Instead, they connect with those who just get it, the ones who listen without fear, who match their calm without competition, who understand silence without needing translation. The rest? They let them drift away, because pretending to be shallow just to make others comfortable feels like drowning in slow motion. The Sigma female would rather stand alone in her truth than shrink herself for shallow approval. She knows that her depth is not the problem. It's the filter that protects her peace. Number 3. Self-respect has no negotiation table. For a Sigma female, that is not just a quote. It is a law she lives by. She knows that once she starts compromising her self-worth to keep someone around, she has already lost herself, and that is one thing she will never allow. A Sigma female would rather lose a relationship, a friendship, a job, or even a family bond than lose the quiet dignity she carries inside. To her, self-respect is not pride. It is her backbone. It is what keeps her grounded when everything else feels uncertain. Once that line is crossed, no apology, no promise, no guilt trip can pull her back, because she knows that if she accepts disrespect once, it opens the door for it to happen again. People often mistake her silence for forgiveness, but it is not. It is her deciding that the conversation is over. When someone crosses that invisible line, she does not argue, she disconnects. She will walk away without creating drama, because she knows that walking away is the loudest statement a person can make. What makes her powerful is that she does not measure her worth through anyone's approval. She doesn't need to be liked, chosen, or understood. Her loyalty to herself comes first. She knows that being true to herself may cost her people, but pretending would cost her peace, and peace is far too expensive to trade. That is why people find her mysterious and intimidating. She operates with quiet standards that can't be manipulated. She will give love, care, and loyalty, but the moment someone treats her like she is replaceable, she reminds them how silence can speak louder than words. For her, self-respect is not something to protect. It is something to honor. It is the reason she sleeps peacefully at night, knowing she never begged for what she deserved. Number 4. Not everyone wants to grow. It sounds simple, but it is one of the hardest lessons a Sigma female ever learns. She used to believe that everyone wanted truth, that everyone wanted to evolve and become better, but time taught her that many people only like the idea of growth until it starts demanding change. Sigma females have seen how people defend their comfort zones like fortresses. They would rather stay blind to their own patterns than face the discomfort of self-awareness. They talk about healing but run from accountability. They want wisdom, but not the silence that comes with reflection. And that is exactly why Sigma females often walk alone, not because they reject others, but because others refuse to meet them on the level of honesty they live by. She understands that truth hurts before it heals, and that is where most people stop. They crave growth that feels pleasant, but real growth is messy, confronting, and sometimes lonely. It forces you to question everything you once believed, including yourself. The Sigma female is one of the few who can handle that. She accepts pain as a teacher, not an enemy. She embraces discomfort because she knows that without it, nothing real ever changes. That's why she no longer wastes energy trying to pull people out of their own illusions. She knows that everyone grows at their own pace, and some people choose never to. So instead of forcing awareness, she focuses on her own evolution. She knows that staying real will cost her connections, but it will also protect her peace. And that trade is always worth it. Because pretending to be small just to make others comfortable is the fastest way to betray yourself. Sigma females would rather walk the lonely road of truth than stay asleep in a crowd that fears waking up. Number 5. Peace is not found in quiet rooms. A Sigma female learned that the hard way. She has sat in silent spaces, away from people, away from noise, and still felt chaos screaming inside her. That was when she understood that peace has nothing to do with the absence of sound. It has everything to do with the state of her soul. Many people chase peace by running from the world. They travel, meditate, block everyone, and call it healing. But the truth is, if your mind is in disorder, silence only makes the noise inside louder. The Sigma female knows this. She has learned that peace is not about escaping life. It is about mastering yourself within it. She builds peace from the inside out. Her calm comes from knowing what she can control and what she must release. She doesn't beg people to act right. She adjusts her boundaries. She doesn't force outcomes. She focuses on her own alignment. When everything around her feels unstable, she does not panic. She retreats inward, reorganizes her thoughts, and restores her balance. That is what real peace looks like. Not perfection, but inner order. Quiet rooms can only silence your surroundings, not your spirit. The Sigma female understands that if your thoughts are chaotic, no place on earth will feel peaceful. But when your mind is steady, you can stand in the middle of chaos and still feel calm. That is why she protects her energy so fiercely. She has no interest in temporary calm. She wants lasting clarity. She would rather confront her restlessness than pretend to be fine. She faces her thoughts, sorts through them, and finds stillness within the storm. Because true peace is not a destination. It is a decision. And once she found it inside herself, no noise, no loss, and no person could ever take it away. Number 6. Healing is not always gentle. Sigma females know this truth deep in their bones. They have walked through the kind of healing that does not feel spiritual or poetic. It feels like tearing open old wounds and cleaning them with fire. It burns before it soothes, and it breaks before it builds. While others romanticize healing as calm meditation and soft music, the Sigma female knows it is often sleepless nights, silent tears, and questioning everything you once believed about yourself. It is facing the parts of you that are ugly, broken, or afraid. It is admitting where you were wrong, forgiving people who never said sorry, and letting go of things you still wish had worked out. That is not gentle work. That is soul surgery. The Sigma female does not glamorize growth. She understands that healing is not about becoming flawless, but about becoming honest. It demands that you stop blaming others, stop running from your reflection, and start rebuilding piece by piece. Sometimes it feels lonely, because the deeper you heal, the more you outgrow people, places, and even versions of yourself. But through that pain, she becomes stronger. Each scar becomes proof that she chose self-respect over comfort. Each moment of emotional pain teaches her that peace is not given. It is earned through awareness and courage. What makes her different is that she does not rush the process. She allows the discomfort to do its work. She knows that every burn from truth cleanses what needs to go. And when it is over, she does not come out the same. She comes out quieter, wiser, more grounded. Healing for her is not about pretending she is fine. It is about finally being real. It may not be gentle, but it is always worth it. Because from that pain she is reborn, not polished but powerful. Number 7, they expose each other's blind spots. When a Sigma female finds her Sigma male, the connection isn't built on comfort, it's built on truth. Both of them are sharp observers who rarely get challenged by others. Most people either avoid confronting them or get intimidated by their clarity. But when they meet each other, that changes. Suddenly they're face to face with someone who sees through their defenses, someone who isn't afraid to call out what others overlook. They expose each other's blind spots. It's not about criticism or control, it's about growth. Their honesty cuts, but it also heals. When the Sigma male notices her emotional walls, he doesn't attack them. He gently points them out, reminding her that not every moment needs guarding. When she catches him avoiding vulnerability behind logic, she doesn't scold. She mirrors it back, making him see how his own armor isolates him. These moments aren't easy. They create tension, silence, and reflection. But that's where their bond deepens. They don't run from discomfort because they know it's part of evolution. The Sigma connection thrives on authenticity, not convenience. They would rather face painful truth than live in pleasant lies. What makes this dynamic rare is the trust beneath it. They know that each revelation, no matter how uncomfortable, comes from care, not ego. They challenge each other not to win, but to refine. Each conversation becomes a mirror, revealing what they've been too strong or too afraid to see alone. And with every truth shared, they strip away another layer of pretense. What's left isn't perfect, but it's real. In a world full of people who avoid accountability, they find someone who helps them confront it with courage. That's what makes their connection sacred. It's not just love, it's transformation. They don't destroy each other's illusions for fun, they do it to help each other see clearly. Number 8. People will envy what they don't understand. It is one of life's quiet but brutal truths, and Sigma females understand it better than anyone. They learned early that standing out comes with a price. Their confidence, independence, and mystery make people curious at first, but when others realize they can't be controlled or easily figured out, curiosity turns into envy. A Sigma female does not try to explain herself to people who already decided she is too much or too distant. She knows their opinions say more about their insecurities than about her character. When people can't match her energy, they label it arrogance. When they can't understand her peace, they call it loneliness. But she doesn't flinch. She understands that being different often makes others uncomfortable, especially those who need the crowd to feel validated. She wears solitude like armor, not punishment. To her, being alone is not a weakness. It is a reset. It is where she rebuilds, recharges, and returns stronger. She doesn't need noise to feel alive, or attention to feel valued. Her silence is her strength. Her space is her sanctuary. She uses solitude the way others use applause, to stay centered and grounded. What makes her untouchable is that she has made peace with being misunderstood. She does not chase acceptance, because she knows people only understand from their own level of awareness, and if that level is low, she would rather walk alone than shrink to fit in. The envy she faces is not her problem to fix. It is a reflection of the fear others feel when they meet someone who lives by her own code. Sigma females are reminders that freedom has a cost, and only those strong enough to be different can afford it. That is why they walk alone, not out of loneliness, but out of quiet power. Number 9. Silence exposes truth faster than arguments. Sigma females discovered this through experience, not theory. They have seen how people reveal themselves the moment silence enters the room. When you stop defending yourself, stop explaining, and simply go quiet, the truth starts to unfold on its own. Most people panic in silence. They rush to fill it with excuses, lies, or nervous laughter, because silence has a way of stripping away the masks. But Sigma females are not afraid of quiet. They use it as a mirror. They've learned that when you remove words, actions start to speak, and actions never lie. They know that truth does not need defending. If something is real, it will remain true even in silence. That's why they no longer waste energy arguing with people who twist words or play mind games. Instead, they go quiet and let time do the talking. Sooner or later, people reveal exactly who they are when you stop feeding them attention. This is one of the Sigma female's most powerful weapons, controlled silence. It unnerves manipulators and exposes liars without a single confrontation. While others argue endlessly to prove a point, she observes. She listens, she notices patterns, and she lets people's behavior confirm everything she needs to know. Her silence is not weakness, it is strategy. It is her way of separating truth from noise. The ones who misunderstood her calm as indifference often find out too late that she saw everything. She just chose not to react. Sigma females understand that arguments feed egos, but silence feeds truth. And when the dust settles, those who lied, played, or faked always end up revealing themselves. All she has to do is stay still, stay calm, and watch the truth surface. Because silence, in the hands of a Sigma, is louder than any storm. Number 10. The mirror is their harshest teacher. Sigma females do not hide from it. They stand in front of their reflection with brutal honesty, ready to face whatever truth it throws back. While most people use distractions to avoid seeing their flaws, Sigma females do the opposite. They stare straight into their own contradictions, mistakes, and weaknesses, not to shame themselves, but to understand who they really are. They know the mirror never lies. It shows everything: the progress, the scars, the pride, and the guilt. It reflects not just the face they show the world, but the version of themselves they try to silence. And instead of turning away, they listen. They let the mirror teach them. A Sigma female would rather face her darkness than hide behind excuses. She knows that pretending to be perfect blocks growth. So she digs deep, asking the hard questions that others run from. Why did I allow that? What am I afraid of? What part of me still needs healing? These moments are not pretty, but they are real. And that's what she values most: raw truth over false comfort. This is why she grows faster than most people. She doesn't wait for life to expose her flaws. She exposes them herself. Her accountability is ruthless, but it keeps her authentic. She doesn't blame others for her pain, and she doesn't play the victim. She studies herself the way some study others, closely, quietly, honestly. Through that process, she becomes stronger. Each confrontation with her reflection makes her more self-aware and less controlled by ego. The mirror becomes her guide, not her enemy. It reminds her that darkness is not something to escape, but something to master. Because the Sigma female knows that true power begins the moment you stop lying to yourself and dare to face the person staring back. Number 11. Not every bond deserves a second chance. Sigma females learned that the hard way. They used to believe that forgiveness meant restoration, that if they healed from what happened, they should reopen the door. But over time, they discovered a painful truth. Some connections are not meant to be repaired. Some lessons are meant to end with distance. Sigma females understand that peace is not found in recycling old pain. They know that forgiving someone and trusting them again are two completely different things. Forgiveness is for their own peace. Re-entry, on the other hand, must be earned, and most people never do. They've seen how easily people confuse kindness with weakness. They've watched those they gave another chance to repeat the same patterns, because comfort always invites carelessness. So now, when someone breaks their trust, they don't seek revenge, they seek clarity. And that clarity often leads to quiet detachment. A Sigma female will forgive you in silence, wish you well, and still never look back. It's not pride, it's protection. She knows that allowing someone who hurt her back into her life is not healing. It's self-betrayal. Some relationships are meant to teach self-respect, not endurance. That's what makes her strength so rare. She can let go without bitterness. She can move on without closure. She can love someone deeply and still recognize when the story is over, because she values her peace more than her past. The world may call her cold for walking away, but she knows she's just being honest. Once trust is broken, the bond changes forever. And while she can forgive what happened, she refuses to relive it. She understands that distance is not cruelty, it's wisdom. And some doors are better left closed, no matter how familiar they feel. In final words, some truths don't comfort you. They challenge you to evolve. Only Sigma females can handle those kinds of truths, the ones that strip away illusions and force you to grow. They are not fragile souls looking for validation or approval. They are built from self-awareness and inner discipline. While most people crave softness and reassurance, Sigma females crave understanding. They would rather face the hard truth than live a comfortable lie. These women know that truth isn't always kind and growth isn't always pretty, but they've accepted that pain is a part of evolution. They don't break down when life gets harsh. They study the lesson, rebuild quietly, and rise sharper than before. Their power doesn't come from being perfect. It comes from being real, even when real means uncomfortable. They carry a calm strength that confuses people. Others mistake it for coldness, but it's not. It's the stillness that comes from knowing who they are and what they refuse to tolerate. They don't need to prove anything, because truth doesn't need to shout. If you've ever felt too honest, too aware, or too detached for the world around you, this video is for you. You're not heartless. You're grounded in reality. You're not distant. You're protecting your peace. Stay till the end, and you'll understand why Sigma females are not built to please, but to awaken. Because only they can carry the truth that most people run from. Thank you for watching The Rare Gems, and God bless you.